Good morning, everybody. It is just about 11:15 on Monday morning, and what I normally do is go live in my Fierce Happy Women group. And if you aren't a member of the Fierce Happy Women group, send me a request. Join our Fierce Happy Women group. It's a pretty fun group. But normally I go live on Mondays, and occasionally I post it on my Facebook page and I post it in Phoenix Rising Healings. But I've decided to try something different. I think going forward, I'm going to go live here on Monday mornings, and then I'll post it other places so that people can watch the replay. So bear with me as I work out the kinks of how this works and what's going to happen and what it's going to look like. And if you've never caught my Mondays with Robin, I have all of them on my YouTube channel, which I can post the link for that in the chat if you're interested in looking at all of the previous ones. And I just talk about whatever happens to be up energetically, and I share what's going on for me, and I share my process. And it really just is a way of sharing a message of fierce happiness and what it means and what it looks like to choose happiness, sometimes in the face of some stuff that can be challenging and scary and overwhelming, like literally anything that's going on in the outside world right now. So, today, what I wanted to talk about is first of all, I wanted to share with you that I just spent a couple of minutes in a 1 minute plus hug with Lily, and that just reset all of my whole nervous system, and it was lovely. So, if you've never done that with someone, I highly recommend doing a 1 minute hug. If you've never done it with your kids, that is the best way to reset that I know how. So it's a pretty awesome experience for both of us. So what I wanted to talk about today is I called the title of this cultivating happiness. And what I mean by that is I woke up Saturday night in the middle of the night, and I was in quite a bit of panic. I was actually feeling a, a lot of overwhelm about a whole bunch of different stressors and things. Some of it was financial, and just some of it was just stuff. And it was up, and it was up, and I couldn't. No matter what, all of my tried and true methods, all of my breathing and grounding and doing the method and saying Ho'oponopono, none of that was actually touching it. So I actually, as I normally do when I can't seem to solve the problem on my own, I threw it out to God, to the universe, to my guides, and I just said, please help me with this. Please help me with this. And this is, I mean, they can't intervene unless we ask them. So I asked for help and they intervened. And so what I got was this very, first of all, I was able to breathe. I felt hugged. I felt loved. I felt I just felt this sort of immense grace come over me. And that in and of itself it was like I could take a breath for the first time in what had felt like hours. I was up for a really long time struggling with this. And so I felt this just grace. I felt, yep, I just anchored that feeling again back in. So now I can remind, it was that I felt my heart was held. Like I really did feel like spirit, God, source just came around me and gathered me in and held me from behind and just held my heart so that I could breathe. And it was breathtaking. It was really just a profound sense of grace and peace that washed over me. And I breathed into that and I let it happen. And then I started to get some visions. Well, and the way my guides usually talk to me is they'll show me something or they'll ask me a question that requires me to sit and answer. We do this sort of call and response thing where they ask me a question, I answer, or they tell me something and I ask questions. That's how my guides have always talked to me. And in fact, I'm putting together a class of teaching people how to listen to their guides and get the guidance that they ask for. If you're interested, drop me a note, send me a message, or comment down the below, and I'll get you signed up for that because that's actually going to be a really, I think, pretty cool class, and that's the next thing that's coming out for me. It's it'll come out in the next couple of weeks, and I think it's going to be a really awesome class. And if you can't join us live, then you can get a replay. So stay tuned for that. So my guides asked me the question. They said, "What is it?" Because I was really focused on what I didn't want to feel. Obviously, it was that panic and overwhelm sense. So they asked me, "What is it you do want to feel?" And for a little while, I had a real hard time. I had a hard time. I kept saying, "Not this, not this, not this," which, if the universe doesn't understand the not, it doesn't understand no, it understands 0 or 100%. So the in between, that I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, that's exactly what I'm creating over and over and over again. And so I sat and I breathed and I just felt that grace that had washed over me, and I just felt myself be held and safe. I felt myself be safe. That in that moment there was nothing else I needed to do. I was in bed. I was all by myself. It was the middle of the night, and my eyes weren't even open. I'm not even 100% sure was I fully awake. I was maybe half and half, but it was that feeling that woke me up out of a sound sleep. So so my guides asked me, "What is it that you want?" And I didn't necessarily know right away. So I sort of just started casting around for feelings. I would just things that made me feel good, things that I enjoyed, things that brought a smile to my face. And all of them felt good, but they weren't enough to necessarily touch the panic. And so once again I said, "Help me, show me what it is I'm looking for." And they brought me back to, well, there was probably three moments in my lifetime where I felt profound joy. I mean, I'm happy. I'm a happiness coach. I'm happy all the time. But these were moments that I felt profound, sacred joy. And one was the minute that Lily was born. I knew when she came into the world, it was like my world stopped spinning. And not that I live and die for my kid. It's not it. It was that this human chose us as her parents and chose me to be her guardian. That meant I had to have done something right. So that was a moment that, like, the world sort of stopped shifting for me. It was really profound. And I remember that feeling so acutely, that 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 happiness and joy and just grace. And I loved that. And so I felt that, and I felt it and I felt it and I felt my heart just go whoosh. So that joy let the air out of the panic. It didn't have such a grip anymore. And I felt it and I sat in that feeling and I just breathed into it and I just allowed that feeling to wash over me. And when I had cultivated it, when I had allowed it into its fullest extent, that's when my guide said to me, "Are there any other times that you felt this?" And I went back and I actually remembered that the day the day I got married was I had that same feeling. I had that same joy, that same rightness in the world. And I got to see, I was dancing. We had a whole choreographed dance. Katie and I did a whole dance across the whole dance floor. We had choreographed this whole ballroom dance thing, and it was breathtaking. And I remember the feeling of that joy, and regardless of anything that happened afterwards, that moment, that day, that time was one of those sacred places of joy. So again, I let it wash over me, and I really allowed the feelings in, and I felt that whole the ground felt safe. It felt safe. It felt sacred, and I just stayed in that feeling, and I cultivated it. And we did this. We did this for quite a long time over the evening. Oh, I mean, like I said, I was up for a little while, so we did this over and over and over again. All those times in my life that I felt that joy and that feeling. And I had a moment where my guides are funny. They talk to me, like I said, they talk to me in scenes and pictures as well. And they showed me a scene from the actually the book, the Harry Potter series, the book, not the movie, but the book, when Harry learns how to do a Patronus charm. And a Patronus charm is what you use against the Dementors, which are the things that suck the joy out of life. They are these evil beings that guard prisoners, and they can suck your soul and they suck your joy. They feed on joy, actually. And the only way to cast a Patronus against a Dementor is by getting into a place of feeling exquisitely happy. And when you can get to that place, you can cast a charm that then creates a protective bubble, and it usually takes the form of an animal. So of course my guide showed me Harry learning how to do this with his teacher, and it was in the third book, and I remember that scene very vividly. And in the movie, they don't get it quite right in the movie, but it was close enough. So I had this moment. I saw that scene, and I actually saw myself casting a Patronus charm, and that actually, and of course, I don't know. I guess it was surprising to me, but it really shouldn't have been surprising to me was that my Patronus was a phoenix, and I could just see, of course, Phoenix Rising Healings. Light dawns. Sometimes the learning curve is pretty steep, but I could see the phoenix, and I could see the phoenix just spread her wings, and I saw her arch up like this, and she had these beautiful, amazing, this wingspan, and her tail was all hanging down behind her, and that was my Patronus, and that actually she lit up my whole room with, and she sent the demons out. She got rid of that panic, and was my my that was my experience, and it was just so I was so breathtaking. Bethany, it was such a cool visual. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching, say hi, let me know, drop me a line. If you're watching a replay, let me know that too. Like I said, I'm going to probably be doing this more. I'll do this every Monday, I think. So please let me know what resonates, what you want me to talk about. But so yeah, so this beautiful phoenix filled up my whole room and sort of cast away all the demons, and it was just, I felt joy. I felt in that moment, I felt the joy again. Now, are my stressors still my stressors? Absolutely. But what I've been doing is cultivating joy, cultivating that feeling again. Every time I look at myself in the mirror since Saturday night, I look at myself and I'll be like, I say the charm for to say to create the Patronus is expecto patronum. And so every time I look at myself in the mirror, I actually say that, and I actually envision again that giant phoenix with her wings and her feathers all hanging down, and it's just I do it every single time I pass the mirror, or I've been doing it since Saturday, and I feel lighter. I feel happier. I feel relief. I'm not in that same gripped panic feeling. And so this is what I'm working on. And this is what I would invite all of you to to work on. Good morning, Sharon. It's nice to see you. How are you? Thank you. Yes, my rainbow tie dye. This is sort of like I go back and I look at my lives from when I've done them, and like 9 times out of 10 I have a rainbow tie dye polo on, and it's not because I just wear the same shirt. I actually have two rainbow tie dye polos t-shirts. They're different. But I have two of them, so I wear them apparently a lot on Mondays. Here we go. Hi, Marsha. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for dropping in. So anyway, today, what I would like for you to do is, what can you do to cultivate that feeling of joy? Can you get into a place? There is a time in your life when you felt that. Your soul has always given you breadcrumbs. It has always given you breadcrumbs. So can you find a time in your life where you knew that joy? And if you can't, maybe you ask your guides for help. I couldn't do this on my own the other night. I had to ask for help. And frankly, this is the culmination of 25 years of work. So you may not actually be able to access it yet because you still have layers of bullshit to clear out. And that's where I come in. That's why I'm a happiness coach. This is why I do what I do. I teach people how to do this all the time. So if you don't know how to cultivate happiness and joy within yourself, then you frankly need me. And there's a ton of different ways for you to be able to do that. I'm super accessible. But we got to start working together because the time is now and the world needs you so desperately. The world needs all of you. Hi, Francine. The world needs all of you to be shedding your light and spreading your wings and being your own phoenix or dragon or otter or unicorn or, I don't know, some new animal that doesn't exist yet. But we need it. And so it's time for you to start shedding your light. If you missed it, I have a course starting in October. uh, it's the chakras of happiness, and we do like a deep dive into each chakra. We spend 4 to 6 weeks in each chakra, looking at what the chakra is, how your energy is in your first chakra. First chakra is root and tribe and family and physical world and body. How do you fit in this world? What were the rules that you were expected to play by, and how did you not play by them as a woman in society? So we do 6 weeks in first chakra, 6 weeks in second chakra, emotion, sexuality, sensuality, passion, joy. That's all second chakra. And again, what were the rules, and did you fit them or not? And then what kind of vows did you make as a result of it? And then we go to third chakra. And third chakra is will and self-esteem and fire. So we do 4 to 6 weeks in each chakra. It's a 6 month deep dive. It's amazing. However, I also get that that may be a little intense for some people. It's really not. It's this beautiful tribe of amazing women. It's only going to be 12 people, and it's so awesome. It's such a beautiful course. That might be a little too much to dive in first. So like I said at the very beginning, I'm going to be doing a work with your guides kind of class. I'm still putting together the details. I'm going to run it probably in September for a couple of weeks. And it'll always my classes are almost always on Wednesdays or Thursdays evenings. So there's a couple of different ways for you to work with me. I also think I'm going to have a Science of Happiness or Happiness 101 kind of introduction course in September. So stay tuned for that as well. I have a program I call 4 weeks to Fierce Happiness, which is like we do 2 sessions. We do a healing one day and a laser session that a couple days later, and we do it twice a week for 4 weeks, and we really get to like break through these blocks and really give you a handle on really what it means to choose fierce happiness. So there's a billion different ways to work with me. There's always one-on-one. I have a bunch of spaces right now for one-on-one clients. So if that floats your boat, we can do one-on-one and we can do weekly sessions. So talk to me, work with me, let's find a way. But for today, cultivate your own Patronus. Have a wonderful day, and I love you.